my background is slowly getting brighter? Or am I going crazy? I just feel like it looks whiter than it did before. Just, I don't know. Just
Pretty good.
It's getting magical over here. That's all that's happening. It's fine. We've got a nice, soiree of backgrounds today, which I'm enjoying.
Soiree.
Yeah.
That's actually a cool word.
It is a great word. It's one of those words that I do wish we could bring back into the zeitgeist, please. Jono, what is going on with your face? Jono has...
Target locked.
Yeah, that's what it looked. I was like, oh.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. It's going to be an assassination on the podcast this week.
Now I know what the beeping was about.
That's it.
They're coming for you, Jono. They want that sick setup behind you.
They want that booty.
That too.
No.
Protect the booty at all costs.
All costs. All right. Is it all G now?
We all
good
happy?
in the hood?
I think we're all good.
All right. That's
Excellent.
sick.
Awesome sauce. In the
Nothing.
In the bricks?
Sick in the...
Whoa! I can't use this as an
Man,
intro
this is
now.
Twitch. You can't be going around saying stuff like that.
Them young
You
kids
can, you
aren't...
just put like a beep.
That means I have to do extra work. Why would you do this to me?
Oh, in that case, we'll just drop a lot.
Alrighty, well I guess we'll jump right into it. Hello and welcome to Thermaltalk, the official Thermaltake Australia podcast. On today's podcast, we're going to be discussing the controversy around the Marvel's Avengers game, do another round of quickfire questions, and hopefully it works out better than the first one, and we're going to have a good old chat about Halo Infinite. As always, you're joined by me, your host Sarah, and today I am also joined by the following people.
Justin.
Jono.
Taylor.
Trying to...
It's great. I love it. I love the awkwardness of that intro. I could introduce you all, but I don't want to.
It's terrible.
I want to keep the terrible, painful intro. I live for it. I really do.
It's like, I don't know what to introduce myself as every time.
True.
I forget. So it
You
takes
forget
me a
who
while.
you are?
Yeah, basically.
You just forget how to introduce yourself every time.
Next time I might be like Pit Viper Daddy or something.
Oh, well, we haven't seen the Pit Vipers today.
Nah.
You've silenced them.
Broke them
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the car.
They're guarding the car now.
There's just too much awesomeness going on.
That's true. There's only so much you can take sometimes. You know, we don't want to overwhelm people with too much.
100%.
Exactly right. Well, I'm happy that we finally got Justin back on a podcast. Yay! You've been on like 3 in total. This is ridiculous. I did a poll earlier. Not a poll. I did like a tally of everyone who's been on the podcast. And you've only been on 3, Justin. And I'm sad about
Wait, I
that.
feel like it's like 2.
Yeah.
Wasn't it 2 on 2 like at home ones or?
You were, yeah, this is the second at home one you've been on. And then you were on,
Gotcha.
You were on one with Jillian
Yep.
as
Okay.
well. Oh no, you're on one with Nick.
Yeah.
So
that's
you've
right,
been on
yeah.
4. Oh gosh, okay.
Hey.
It's still pretty low though compared to Jillian's like 11 or something ridiculous. Yeah, 11 I think Jillian's been. Jillian is
Wild.
it's now the Jillian podcast, everybody.
Knew it.
That's it. Jillian's taken over. It's happened. It's only taken 22 episodes, but it's now the Jillian cast. But how's everybody doing? How is us all? How are we all doing? We've got some lovely backgrounds today. There we go. We've had requests for us to update our backgrounds, and look, you two have definitely gone above and beyond the Call of Duty. Yeah, absolutely. That's it.
Where you at, Taylor?
You gotta up the game, Taylor. Come on, get some RGB back there. What's going on?
My microphone makes up for it, surely. Look
at that contrast pop.
Pretty cool microphone.
It does pop. It really does.
Although it is a bit distracting when you're trying to play games at like midnight.
And all you can see is the
Go to
red,
bed, man.
the
Simple.
red glow.
Red glow on my face, yeah, and my eyes as well.
Just a bit like
Red
demonic.
eyes.
Like someone comes in and sees you and there's just this red glow over your face.
It works into the narrative of my early video days at the company where Francis always said that I looked like a Sith Lord in our videos. The lighting was always really dark.
That's rough.
Yeah,
Right.
Because I always did dark lighting on him.
yeah.
We just felt like it.
Because he couldn't figure out a way to get my light right. So he was like, screw it.
Just
Dark,
none.
Make it
darkness it is.
I can't get the lighting right. We'll just go with none. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, to be fair though, we didn't really have the awesomeness of like a proper light like this one.
Oh.
What did we do back then? What was the solution?
We had
to
the
that?
two Stingray, I think they call them, LED lights. So they're good, but they're not really used to illuminate like a person's face. They're not.
Yeah.
The dish around them doesn't spread the light enough to create like a beautiful, normal
Soft
normal light.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
look.
but
There you go.
you still look pretty cool. So
I still don't really fully understand what the purpose of light, like what makes good lighting.
Sorry.
Because
I don't
like,
understand the purpose of light. Like, why?
how does it get from the sun to here?
It's really
Um,
crazy.
Nah, in terms of like what makes good studio lighting and what makes bad studio lighting, it's like it seems to be whatever your objective is. It can be vastly different in terms of what makes good and bad lighting. And like my top level view of it is like just eliminating shadow off a person's face completely. So there's no like casted shadows on a person's face, but maybe in some scenarios that is the point.
correct.
But I don't know, it's a tricky one for me to grasp my head around without actually delving into it too deeply.
Yeah, it's interesting. Light is, I mean, it's good to have shadow, especially if you're trying to create a more powerful look to a person or give them more authority or make them just stand out from the background. It's good to have shadow on like, some sides of the face. But you don't want also a completely lit up face because then it's way too flat and it looks boring.
Well, that's why I always told you to shoot me from a low perspective, right? So
So you look more commanding.
yeah, because I'm actually like 4'3" in real life. So
You
if
wouldn't
meet
know
me
though.
before- but like you would know, yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Like
Genius.
force perspective.
That's
Look at that background in Justin's shot there.
Justin has a
Look at that.
great background. It looks like you're
It's not even a
gonna.
background. It's just literally like
Moved in
my
to a new
rack, yeah,
place
that
and
I'm gonna
built a
put
shelf.
It looks
He's
like
a
you're.
new age man.
Yeah, it looks like you're about to host like a tool show, like like
Home
Home
Improvement.
Improvement. Yeah, like
Season two.
you're gonna be like Tim Allen and
Where's
show
Tim
us.
Allen? He's gonna pop out from the door.
Yeah.
All right, Justin, time to build a fridge.
A fridge.
Fill the fridge, yeah. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
I've got the nitrogen right here. Let's freeze some cold ones, shall we?
Done.
Wow. There you go. What a story. What a narrative.
What a practical background. That's what it is.
That's right. I've
so
just
cool.
got books. I'm jealous. Oh, I just moved the podcast.
Just
Sorry,
want one of
everyone.
those shelves in the garage.
Is it a
though.
mixture of like for the backdrop on your rig there, like aesthetic over function, or is it all function?
The plan is for it eventually to be just function. Like last night, actually, it was just stacked with like rubbish and boxes and stuff. So it's probably going to end up like that again, I'd say.
I feel that.
Like those that TV, that's not meant to be there. It's just sitting there until we find a better place for it. But,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it looks cool.
yeah.
That's all that matters.
Because I know, like, when you're set dressing, like at the office, like when I helped set dress one time, it was just like, oh, what do we need to do? It's like, oh, let's throw up anything. So we just
Just find anything.
Oh yeah, like a saw. That makes sense. You
Chuck
might
it
need to
up.
cut a motherboard in half. Sure.
Yeah, when would
Let's-
you ever
let's do
use a
that.
saw?
I mean, to be honest, like the
Cool.
hammer and the mallet probably won't get used very often, but
Oh, you never know.
we don't have anything in our garage yet either. So it's just,
Self-defense weapons. You know.
well, yeah, true.
Mm.
Yeah.
You're living on your own now. You got to fend for yourself from the wild.
That's it. Well, the front door's just outside that door, so if anyone
Oh,
comes in,
you're
this is
ready.
the first room they'll hit. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. And
Well,
it's a
yeah.
blind spot too. So when they peer through that door, you just go.
You can
bonk,
just-
and then they're dead.
That's right.
That's
Collie, there you go. Multiple uses.
Yeah.
It's great.
Dark beginning to the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
To
We're
be
like
expected.
10 minutes in and talking about like beating up intruders. But anyway, that's fine. Look, we're 22 episodes in. What who knows what's
What
going
else
to
is there
happen?
to talk about? You know, let's move on to the dark stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. All right, cool. Well, let's move on to our first segment of the day, which is something I've been following a little bit because I quite enjoy a bit of controversy. So this is to do with the new Marvel's Avengers game coming out pretty soon. A lot of fans were disappointed recently when the Avengers game announced that Spider-Man would be coming to the game. I don't think he'd been announced previously, but he was only going to be playable on PlayStation. Which was quite sad for a lot of fans of both the Avengers and also who were looking forward to the game. So PlayStation players, on top of getting access to Spidey, will also get a bunch of extra things as well. I think they get content earlier in general, and I think they also, if you're a PS Plus member, I think you get access to some special skins and other items which people on PC and other consoles will be missing out on. So yeah, I find this really a fascinating thing, especially considering, Spider-Man is such a popular character. I think he is still Marvel's most popular character, like just overall. So yeah, to have him only on one particular platform is quite sad for people who don't have a PlayStation or aren't interested in one. And then they did bring out an interview with the boss of Crystal Dynamics, kind of talking about why this was the case. And yeah, it kind of just comes down to, I guess, money. To the fact that, that's just...
When you wade through all the wording and all the bullshit...
It just comes down to money.
You can be as flowery with the language as you want, and then you get down to the bottom, TLDR, we want money.
It was money. It was money. But yeah, it seems like there's a deal between Marvel and PlayStation or Sony, and it's basically just worked out that they could do whatever they want, which was they wanted to put Spider-Man on their platform exclusively, which is interesting. So yeah, I was wondering what you guys thought about this. I know you guys, I know most, Jono and Justin, I know you guys were never gonna maybe play this game. No. I think maybe me and Taylor have the most likelihood to play this game, and have the most invested in it. But yeah, I was just wondering what you guys think about in general, like things like this happening where a certain character or a certain thing is going to be exclusive. Additionally, I think it's important to point out that I'm pretty sure Spidey doesn't cost any extra. So you're going to pay the same price, but depending what platform you're on, you'll get more or less for the same exact price, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they said that Spider-Man, you won't have to pay, he's not going to be like a DLC, he's just going to come to the game for PlayStation.
Yeah. So he's not like a pre-order bonus, it's like you buy a copy for PlayStation, just get him.
You just get him on PlayStation and you won't. So you're going to pay the same price, but you're going to get less content because of what platform you choose. And I was a little upset as well, because I saw the interview with the boss, and the response to, what do you think, it's kind of unfair? He's like, what should fans do? And the response is like, just play it on PlayStation. And I was are you joking? So anyway, what do you guys think about this? Do you think this is fair? Do you think this is not fair? Do you think, just go get a PlayStation?
No, it's a bit of a dick move, 100%. I don't even know if it came down to money in the end. It was more of because we can and we will.
Yeah,
Because because when it comes to the Avengers on the cinema, they do charge through the bum to have Spidey in that universe. And I think this time it didn't come down to money. It was just more no, we want it to be exclusive. We want it to be a PlayStation thing. And I think that's kind of it's crap, really. It's really I don't know. Just imagine being a massive fan of Spidey, and then you're oh, now I have to go and buy a PlayStation just to be able to I don't know. It seems weird. It seems it's very unfair, I think. I don't know. It's just really annoying too. How pissed would you be?
Yeah, right? Especially because, I said, Spidey is the most popular Marvel character. There's going to be a lot of people out there that will want to play as their favorite character, and now they can't.
Well, this isn't really the first instance of this being a thing, because Sony, as everyone kind of, as Jono kind of alluded to, Sony owns Spider-Man as an intellectual property. They bought Spider-Man when Marvel was selling off their assets in the late 90s, when they were about to go bankrupt, if you could believe it. So they sold Spider-Man to Sony. They sold, X-Men and Fantastic Four to Fox, and they kept all the other characters that they could. Spider-Man is one of those things where it's one of Sony's probably most valuable IPs that they own. But when it comes to the way they've been dealing with him lately, in the last 5 or 10 years, in the film universe, they've kind of played ball a bit with Marvel proper because they realized that, after 3 Spider-Men, not really making a dent in the cultural zeitgeist. It's like, maybe we should just give the reins to people that actually know what they're doing when it comes to superhero films.
Yeah.
Which has worked out well for them. Like Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home are like 2 of their greatest films in the last 5 years. At least I think so. I think they're great movies. When it comes to the games, though, like Spider-Man has been exclusive to PlayStation forever, and like Spider-Man PS4, which came out in 2018, I believe, that was exclusive to PlayStation as well, because obviously it was. So if you're already a Spidey fan, most likely you would have bought a PS4 for that game already, which was already 2 years ago at this point. The thing I have issue with is that when you have a game like Avengers, which is made to be a cross-platform release, cross-generational as well, is the assumption, because you have the next-gen consoles coming out in November this year, well, presumed to be in November, because Xbox has said they're going to be launching in November without a specific date mentioned yet. So you can assume PlayStation is going to hit around that same period as well. When you have a game like that coming, to a variety of platforms, it seems like an odd move to hold on to this old age tactic of like, oh, we're going to make Spider-Man exclusive because we own him, obviously, so we can do that. So people will play it on PlayStation. But when you're this far in the generation and the PS4 generation is coming to an end, theoretically,
Right.
it's like you've already got the massive install base, like 100 million plus PS4s in the wild. Do you really need an exclusive Spider-Man character to sell more Like, it doesn't seem like you don't really need him to sell more PS4s, because you sold all the PS4s.
Exactly.
Like, and you're still selling PS4s right now for some ungodly known reason. People are buying PS4 still, even though the PS5 is less than 3 or 4 months away. And it's just like, I think it's just like what Jono said. It's like, oh, we can, so why not? But I think it's kind of very flawed thinking, and from a marketing standpoint of like, will this instill goodwill for this game, which already is getting met with a bit of like pessimism, and like, this game looks kind of repetitive, it looks boring, it looks hacky slashy, like not really a lot of depth to it. Do you really want to give it more negative air by doing something like this? It's going to alienate like a third or 2/3 of your player base by saying, oh, we can't play as probably the most iconic Marvel character in the cinematic universe. It just seems really backwards, and I think it's just a decision that was made by some executive that just was like, oh yeah, it's a Marvel Avengers game, Spider-Man, yeah, lock them down for PlayStation, because we've always done that since PlayStation 2, like back with Soul Calibur or something, where you had like an exclusive character for Soul Calibur fighting games, or for Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. It's just old age thinking, I think. And when you have even multiplayer games now that have cross-platform play, encouraging that kind of decentralized, uniform multiplayer space where everyone's playing together regardless of platform, which is also coming to Avengers. Like, there is cross-platform, I think they've said that is going to be happening. It seems extra shitty, because then it's like, okay, I'm on Xbox playing with my friend on PS4.
Yeah.
He can choose Spidey, but I can't.
I can't.
And I can see him swinging around like an arsehole.
Having a good time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it just seems extra, just you're not thinking about the current landscape.
No,
of
exactly.
what people are expecting. And I think as, the reception of this game has progressed, and it's coming out next month, the 3rd or 4th of September. It seems like a very risky move to get some sort of return, which I don't think you're going to really see. I don't think it's going to really give you the return you want.
No, exactly. Yeah, I totally get that. What do you think,
Yeah, well, I
Justin?
think it comes out in 2020.
Yeah, I
as
mean,
well.
it reminds me of I don't know if other games have done this, but back when we used to play Destiny, they had like a Sony exclusive thing, whereas like the DLC would come out like months before on PlayStation.
I do remember that, actually.
Which was annoying, but I guess like the big corporates are going to do that, like it's just the world we live in, I think. But
yeah,
Sony
does
said
suck.
deals like that for Destiny, Call of Duty. They've had that for
yeah,
years.
Call of
Call
Duty's
of Duty
still
as well.
like that.
Yeah, I think they got that because Xbox basically said no,
Right.
and then they were like, "Oh, we'll take it." So like,
Yeah.
since I think pretty much since the start of the PS4 generation, they've had exclusive DLC, multiplayer launches, whatever the case is. They've just had that right. from the get-go. So you can imagine when the new Call of Duty, the Black Ops one that's been rumored for ages, launches this year, there'll be a PS4 exclusive skin
yeah.
or map pack.
Yeah.
They'll get it like the beta a week early and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
they'll get the beta 2 weeks early,
Yeah.
whatever the case is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the same with the game. PSN or PS Plus
PS Plus.
gets all the DLC like a month before everyone else.
So PS Plus is like their Xbox Live. So that's like their
Yeah.
multiplayer subscription. With PS Plus, you get like monthly free games, you get discounts on games, access to the multiplayer, of course. I don't know if I've ever seen like, if you're a PS Plus subscriber, when this new game comes out, you get this DLC. I haven't really seen that.
I believe that's the case with this one.
Yeah,
So
there's
it's with-
certain. Yeah, you're right.
You get a whole bunch of new like stuff a month
Cosmetics.
earlier than everyone else. Yeah.
If you're a PS Plus subscriber. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And then the Spidey release isn't until 2021 is what I read as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, maybe with your next generation thing, it kind of makes like, I don't know, is if the PlayStation 5 would release before Spidey comes out, and then it could sway people's choice to go PS5 if this game
Maybe.
is to be on PS5 as well. Like maybe,
Yeah.
but that's kind of like,
That would be my
trying to
main
find-
thing, because like because it's being cross-platform, even though it's being marketed as a PS4 game, it will be playable on PlayStation 5, and I'm sure it'll be optimized for that platform as well, but obviously not built for the ground up for that platform because they've been working on this before that was announced. But it's interesting because we'll also have the new Spider-Man Miles Morales
Yeah, that's true.
expansion game that's coming out on the console launch is basically the assumption. So you'll technically have 2 Marvel games around
Kinda,
the same
yeah.
time coming out on a Sony platform, both featuring Spider-Man. So
maybe they'll do bundles.
Ooh, maybe.
yeah,
Maybe that's what they're gonna try and do.
or like yeah,
'Cause,
'cause
like,
I don't
yeah.
remember if anyone has a memory that can go that far back. Mine certainly can't. But when the PS4 came out, were there any like game bundles with that?
Yeah.
Like if you
I
bought
think
like
there's always.
a PS4 and you got like Killzone and Infamous together with it or something like that.
Oh yeah, things like that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. I can't remember.
Yeah, I
what they
couldn't
were,
tell
but
you.
They were. There's
Yeah.
always bundles.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Xbox One had a FIFA console when it first came out.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's definitely always like the sports games that get bundled in as like soft bundles. Like, if you get this, we'll give you a free copy of FIFA. But like, I feel like it hasn't been since like 360 PS3 where like if you bought a console, inside the console box was like a copy of like Infamous or like Ratchet and Clank or whatever it was back in the day. I feel like it's been a while since.
No, I feel like that because I have this, for some reason, I have this picture in my mind of the midnight launch for the Xbox One, and I swear there was like a FIFA, like literal like FIFA box.
in the box.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I know you get like a lot of them will have codes for games, like entire games, and you'll buy it.
It probably
and it'll
was
just be
that
like-
actually.
Yeah.
The only thing I
remember
remember
those.
is like when I bought my PS3 originally, it came with Infamous, which I'd never heard of. So I just took it back and said, "Can I exchange this for another game?" And like, yeah, you can. So I got Assassin's Creed instead.
Oh, I heard Infamous
Then
is
I-
pretty good.
Later, I found out I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Infamous is pretty rad. I should have
Should've kept it.
played it."
It's hidden
Yeah.
gem, that one. I
I've
think.
never played it to this day, but I've played 2 and I've played Second Son. So there you go.
You got there in the end, and that's what's important, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely agree that it feels like a case of they're doing it because they can, you know. Keep
Yeah,
it.
I don't
Keep it.
I don't think
close.
it makes the most sense. Like I feel like if they were to backflip on any decision, this would be the one to backflip on. And it
Just
would
like
probably
Spidey
make them,
can.
yeah, basically.
Hey.
I think it'd make them the good guys in this scenario.
Yeah.
But I feel like the outrage is mostly from people that won't even buy this game. To be honest, I think it's more just a collective anger about these kind of things still existing when you
Yeah,
have
the
things like
exclusivity.
cross-platform and you're so close to starting a new generation that it's like, okay, well,
Can we
I
leave
thought
those
we were kind of
things?
doing away with this stuff. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you've got other reasons to sell a console rather than just locking down content to one platform. You know?
Yeah. I also agree. Like, I think it definitely feels like a case of probably wasn't the best move when the game wasn't out yet either. Because I do feel like there are a lot of naysayers with this game. Like, people on the fence still about it, and it's like,
It
well,
would
I
have been
definitely
much
won't
worse
get
if
it
they announced
now.
after the fact.
I mean,
If
maybe.
If people
but
bought
like,
their copies and then like a month later, oh, by the way, Spider-Man's coming to Avengers, but only PS4.
true,
It's like,
true. That might have got
motherfucker,
him
I
in
would've
more
bought it on
trouble.
PS4.
But then you can't boycott it, so they've already got their copies. So
Yeah, you still win.
Got him.
You still get that money.
Big Daddy Marvel and Square Enix raking in the cash.
That's it. That's it.
There was a Killzone bundle, by the way, Taylor. So there was.
Yeah,
so-
like I knew like day one or like week one of like PlayStation, there was very little to play for PS4, but I think one of them was Killzone, if not like a couple of months later.
I remember that box.
There's Battlefield as well.
10 high in the back room.
Yeah, the PTSD, Justin, and just that release.
Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3?
4.
No, 4.
4.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it was 2013. Crazy.
Yeah. God, remember 2013?
What a time.
I was in year 12.
What a cutie.
I was.
Because I don't think I've ever. No one says, "Oh, I was in year 12, 17, 18 years old. What a cutie." What?
What a cutie. That's cute. You're so young.
Hey man, I'd be
Wait,
scared
how
of
old are
you.
you, Taylor?
How old
Like,
am I?
were you like a year forward or something?
You must have been
No,
a year
I was-
behind.
He's
I'm a
21
late-
this year.
I'm a late.
He's 18 this year.
I'm a late year person. I'm
Yeah.
born in December, so I was 18 by the end of 2013, but everyone else is like, 18 or turning 19 in 2 months. Or
Okay,
whatever.
yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Because like me, we're born in the same year, Taylor, but I graduated in 2012. Isn't that interesting?
How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. Good
So
question.
you were a year ahead, Sarah? Like,
Yeah, I was.
Unless-
I don't think I was.
because like people who were like born between January and April, I think have the choice to jump to the next. Well, here they do anyway. I don't know. South Australia, maybe you
What
just
you're saying
start
is
earlier or
Sarah cheated.
something.
So
You're
I
forced.
no wonder I struggled with all those years because I was a year ahead for no reason. I mean, I'm born in March. I'm the start of the year, so maybe that was why. Maybe they pushed me
Yeah.
forward. I don't know. That's so weird, though.
All I
Yeah.
know is that it feels extremely weird and that time has no rules and does not exist, because I remember 2013 being the year. I think it was like January, February, early 2013, where I was watching. I've probably told the story to you guys before, but not on the podcast, so I'll tell it again. But I watched the original Cyberpunk 2077 trailer that announced the game, and that game is coming out in November this year. That's how.
wild,
That's the time
Long dev cycle.
that's taken place. So that to me is crazy in itself. So yeah.
Yeah. My gosh.
Yeah, I heard they delayed it to 2077.
That's right. It's gonna come out in
Dude, you know
2077
what?
now.
Like, I haven't seen or heard that joke.
Good.
Like, I
Good.
think
First time,
you
first
should
time.
bloody,
I haven't
you
done
should
it,
write
so-
that up
Yeah,
and
I
like, put a
haven't either.
watermark on it and like make sure it's property
Save that meme template. Save
Yeah.
it.
Please
No.
do. Please do.
Funny or Die is going to take it someday.
Aw.
You know, I mean, I can tell it irks you every time you hear it.
Therefore,
Cuts
he will
you just
continue
a little bit deeper.
Uh,
working as intended.
See, look at those tears. Anyway,
All right, well, let's move on to our second segment of the day, which is we're going back to quickfire questions, everybody. Because we did it once before and I didn't love it, but we're going to try it again, and then we're going to keep trying it until it works. It's fine. I won't give up on this segment idea. So those of you who haven't done this before, which is you two guys, Taylor was part of the last one, I basically am going to ask you a bunch of questions and you have to answer as many as you can in 30 seconds. There will be no winner because you'll probably all answer the exact same amount of questions. Because for some reason, last time everybody answered the same. Everybody answered 6 questions. So there will be no winner. But, we'll see how we go. We'll see who knows? Someone might absolutely destroy me. That being
I
said,
want the clout. I want
that being
it.
said, I don't have that many questions, so please don't answer that many questions.
Just when you run
wait,
out.
so is the
Couldn't think of
directive
any.
not do well? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what the directive is, man. Like, do well, but not too well. Like, just like a passing grade is fine.
Okay.
We will accept.
I'll have like 30% investment. Cool.
Yeah, that's right. As they say, C's get degrees, and that's what we're aiming for here.
Is that a uniquely
Where was that
Australian unique quote?
motivation when I needed it?
Yeah, that was it. I really
Is
should
that- is
remember.
Is that a uniquely Australian uni quote? Or
I
is
don't
that
know.
just what
Yeah,
Aussies
because it was
say?
at uni. I remember this girl coming up to me and being like, she was barely trying in this class.
Yeah, like,
and I was
don't
like,
worry
right?
about it. C's get degrees.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
was like-
yeah, but like you have to do the job when you get
Yeah.
you get hired somewhere.
Like, you should
have to
probably
know
know
what you're doing.
doing. But yeah, like, she just had this mentality of like, C's get degrees. I'll be fine. I was like, wow, I wish I was you. Anyway, all right, who wants to go first, everyone? Anyone, really wanting to answer some questions? I'll give you a hint. The earlier questions are better than the later ones. Because I ran out of steam halfway through.
I'll embarrass myself first.
All right.
Okay.
Good on you,
Yeah.
Jono. These are some good questions, I think.
Real team player.
Real team player for
Yeah.
Jono. GG,
That's-
GG.
Yeah.
All the G's. All right, Jono. You have
Quick,
30
but not that
seconds. 30 seconds to answer
Okay.
as many questions as you can. Are you ready?
I think so.
Ready, set, go. Full tower, mid tower, or mini case?
Mini.
Favorite RGB color combo?
Ooh, teal. Fairy floss.
Best game
So-
of the last 5 years?
I don't know. Pass. PUBG. Nah, it's terrible.
It is not.
Gears of
Just
War for single player, number 4, and then multiplayer. I'm loving Modern Warfare. It's like COD 4, but modern.
And Doom. Probably.
Gosh, you're getting caught up on this question. How many PCs have you built?
Oh, that's heaps. I don't know. Over 50.
I'm pretty sure that's more than 30 seconds.
I don't know.
That was 4, so well
Oof.
done. I don't know if you're gonna win.
I think I.
I mean,
definitely
you
won't.
got it. You're doing well. You're doing well. I mean, I thought there were some good answers.
Does everyone get different questions?
Everyone gets different questions. Yes.
Oofed.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Who wants to go next, lads?
I'll go next.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Sit
Yeah.
down, me.
All
I'm already
right.
sitting.
All right. Are you ready, Justin?
Yes.
Yep. 30 seconds on the clock. I'll actually time it properly this time. All right, go. Favorite Thermaltake ANZ YouTube video?
Ooh.
Stumped him.
LCGS one.
Worst thing about PC building?
The front panel connectors.
Next upgrade you're planning to make to your PC?
Nothing for a long time.
If you could only save one piece of hardware from your PC, what would it be?
My hard drive with all of my work on it.
Air cooling or water cooling?
AIO.
Oh, I'll give you that. I'll pay you that. You just did it. You just got it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the average. So you've done better than Jono by 1. Congratulations.
Not hard, I guess.
Don't invest in cloud storage, Justin. Don't trust it.
Nah.
Well,
it's
when
too
you're doing
much.
video shit, it's too big, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
true.
big's the cloud? I thought it was endless.
Yeah, but it
An
costs so
endless
much money.
Yeah. No, I don't trust clouds. I remember once
think-
putting photos on it and then they lost it all and I was devastated. So
Yeah.
Oofed.
never again.
Well, $70 for a terabyte versus.
It's not bad. You can
Nah, it's yeah.
yeah, you can get a lot of good storage for good prices now. So
Actually, you can get like 4 terabyte, like USB 2.0 hard drives, which are so slow, for like $60. So
yeah. Well,
take
apparently-
that, cloud.
Yeah, screw you, cloud. Overrated.
Yeah.
I think I'm moving past hard drives though. Like if I was to build another machine, I would not have any hard drives because SSDs at this point, like in terms of like overall investment for like time saved and like just future proofing in general, I feel like it's gotten to the point now where it's like in that 100 to 150 mark for like a terabyte.
They
It's
are
getting-
cheap.
It's getting
They're
there
not
in terms
bad.
of like
I feel
pricing.
like that's true for games and stuff, but like when you shoot like a
Yeah.
wedding, okay, for example, you got 300 gig of footage. Or if
Yeah,
you
I
shoot like
think
a real
if
estate
you're-
video, you got like 100 gig of footage. It's like
Yeah.
after a while it gets a bit much.
Yeah,
That's
I guess it would just be micromanaging file transfers between your stack of hard drives from your
Yeah.
your 2 terabyte work
Yeah.
drive. For
It's not-
working files.
Yeah. It's not there for media production yet. Definitely for games, 100%. Or like every other person that doesn't need to do anything.
Are there any like those, what are they, the hybrid drives, the SSD hard drives?
Biggest
Uh,
scam of
The cache
Edge.
or something. Is that what it is? Or...
Yeah, they have like
Jono
some
coming
sort of
in
cache
with
on
the
it.
controversial.
But like, you know what I'm talking about?
Spilling the
Jono?
tea.
Yeah, yeah, I
Are
know
they
what you're talking
called-
about.
Are they called SSHD?
Yeah, SSHD.
Okay, yeah.
Then
Are
they
they-
do have a bigger cache, but honestly, I think they're pretty much like a scam. Really, there's not for everyday users. There aren't any like benefits. They say it's
At that
better for
point, you
gaming.
just get one of these.
Yeah.
Is that
Just
Naz?
get a yeah.
QNAPy. I've got my little Synology back there. You can't see it actually over my big head. Nah. Yeah, you
what's
can't.
the thing that's like it keeps your computer on if there's a blackout?
UPS.
UPS,
Yeah.
United States Postal Service.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I was like, oh, I'm a bit of a noob. I have no idea.
USPS. That's
Ultra
it, yeah.
power station. Obviously, gosh.
Don't you know, you nerd?
I think I actually said this in the last podcast.
Did you?
Uninterrupted power supply, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, look at us. Jono, is that your hat in one of those cubes?
My flexibility
it?
is not existent. That's a hat.
Yeah.
That's a
I
hat.
love that you
and
give a
then
whole
that's-
cube to your hat.
And that's a full face helmet because I'm so cool.
Jono, that's a question I've been
What a
wanting to
cool
ask
lad.
you. I don't think I've asked you. Have you like inhibited the dad noises?
What do you mean, like the?
Like when you get up from any chair, it's like.
Oh, yeah. I do that
when you-
anyway.
when you reach for like a fork to eat, and it's like, oh, there we go.
Oh, it's tough. Moving
Nah,
is
nah.
tough now.
I think the oof and all that when I when my knees click because
The
age.
clicky knees. Yep, I can relate to that.
I've always had clicky knees actually. I
Yep,
think ever
same.
since I was 14 or something.
But now you can lean into it. Like you can
Yeah,
just do
play it
whatever.
up.
You don't have to actually do it from like actual pain.
You can just do
act
it.
like you're in pain all the time.
And and if someone calls you out, just be like, hey,
I'm
I'm a dad. Okay? You can't. Don't come at me like that. Right?
That's it. You can't do. Yeah, nah. I don't think other than the dad jokes, like they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So that's to be expected. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Mm.
All right, last turn. Taylor, here is your
Me,
turn
cool.
for these. I don't think I've asked you these ones before, so we'll see
Alright,
how we
lay
go.
'em on me.
All right, already. 30 seconds on the clock. Let's go now. 1 ultra-wide monitor or 2 regular monitors?
2 regular monitors.
Would you ever customize a case?
Yes.
What's the dumbest tech question you've Googled?
How to enable G-Sync.
First PC game you ever played?
The putt pals.
Putt-putt.
The purple car dude puzzle game. Pajama Sam. Yeah, go on.
Wireless or wired headset?
Wireless.
Okay, nice. How'd you do? 1, 2, 3, 4. You got the exact same as Justin. There you go.
Damn it.
So the only loser
it.
here was Jono today. Because he couldn't think of a single PC game that had came out in the last 5 years.
That's pretty like. That's pretty relatable.
Couldn't
though.
decide on the best one.
couldn't think of it. That's fair. I can understand that. I can understand that.
I've only played like 3 games in the last 5 years.
Well, shouldn't that make the choice
And I still
easy?
couldn't do it.
think of-
Yeah,
That's like you're like the frugal.
like
gamer.
legit.
Like I bought Call
I
of Duty
know.
once. Don't need to buy it again.
I'm
what do you mean the
done.
server's shutting down? Hello.
I'm
Hello?
all set.
Hello. Modern Warfare service.
What? I think it's only been PUBG, Gears 4 and 5, Modern Warfare, Doom, and Age of Empires 2. Like last 5 years. That's what I've been
And
playing.
Apex.
That's
Don't
it.
leave out Apex.
Oh yeah, poor
What?
Apex.
Who's Apex?
You were
Never
into
heard
that.
of it.
Yeah,
Never
Who's
heard of it.
Apex?
No.
Yeah, true. And Apex actually, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Are you gonna
Is
get
it-
back
I don't
into
think-
it, buddy?
There's
Who,
a
me?
new-
Nah, I've tried. I think they're like, aren't they
Tomorrow.
dead here?
No.
No servers? Couldn't
No.
find anything when I downloaded it again.
No. Well, it's new season updates coming out tomorrow.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
You can jump back in.
Maybe
I
I
can
can
use my
slide
phone.
right on. Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
it.
sliding. Don't you miss the sliding?
Because you can slide in that.
yeah. It is pretty fun.
If you compare it to Call of Duty, where you have like an old man knee, it's like, and you just shove into a doorway. and get
COD
shot
is
in the
actually
face.
quicker than Apex.
What?
COD is quicker in terms of like gameplay and moving across the map. It is
Really?
way quicker. It is so,
Yeah,
because
like run speed.
hop-
Yeah.
hop back in, and like I remember Apex being lightning fast, and then I hop back into it, and I'm like, whoa, why am I so slow? Have they changed the running mechanics? And it's like, nah.
Maybe you should play Octane and tell from like the highest speed to the lowest speed.
trying to work my way back down.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, let's move on to the third segment of the podcast today, which is the main reason I've got these two lads on my right here for. And then Jono's just here for the pretty background and the epic quality. So we're going to chat about Halo Infinite. We did talk about it a little bit last podcast, and I did tease that we were going to talk about it a bit more. And yeah, like I said, I brought these lads on because I know both of them love their Halo, and I'm sure they have some thoughts and opinions on the new game. So yeah, I just thought we would talk a little bit about, we've got two people who love Halo and two people that don't really care. I don't know about you, Jono, but I don't really... Halo has... it's there for me. I don't really love it that
How
much.
dare you?
Sorry,
It's come and
I
gone.
tried, but it just didn't grab me, man.
I had tears. Halo 4, sad time.
Just because it was bad, or like you were just crying
Yeah,
because you were
that's
upset
why I had
about?
to.
Yeah.
Justin's a Halo purist. Don't listen to him. Okay.
He's just a multiplayer purist, I think.
Yeah, he is. So you shouldn't even be talking. Silence.
I mean, Taylor, let's be honest, we're pretty outnumbered when it comes to single player versus multiplayer, though. I'm pretty sure
we are.
the
And
entire
I
rest of the
cry.
team is multiplayer.
It
except for
depresses
us.
me every day.
Yeah, you guys.
You're the
just-
one person in the office I can be like, Sarah, you heard about this cool new game? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, whereas everyone else is just like, yes, I'm still playing that game from 4 years ago, and I haven't played anything else since.
Shots fired.
I will say great,
Played a
great
game from
Jono impression.
13 years ago.
Your Jono impression's way better than mine, but I'm working on it. I'll get there. I'll get there. But anyway, so what's everybody's thoughts about the new Halo games? That everybody had a chance to check out the trailer, and in particular the gameplay trailer, because that did incur the wrath of many a Halo fans. Did you all get to see a bit of it?
There's been some interesting developments on this since this all started, but I don't know. I like to hear what Justin has to think because he's probably the most critical when it comes to this kind of thing.
I mean, the whole graphic thing, that wasn't initially noticeable to me without seeing people talking about it. I thought it looked really clean and smooth, which is what they were going for. Try to go back to like the classic sort of art style. But as soon as I saw Chief sprint, I was out. So,
What was it about it? I didn't see that.
well, no, it's just like advanced movement,
Right.
just like destroys Halo multiplayer.
Oh,
I mean,
see.
to be fair, they haven't actually revealed multiplayer yet, and they have sort of said that
It might
some
be
stuff will be
different.
different. Like the grapple hook and stuff won't be like on every player. It'll be like a pickup,
Right.
which is good.
Didn't they say
Which-
they're going to show off multiplayer fairly soon?
Yeah, I think
they-
this
have they
month at
stopped
some
that now?
stage. Because the Xbox apparently every month they're doing like a reveal thing.
A revamp,
Apparently,
yeah. So there should be some news about it this month, surely.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, just looking at like the mechanics that we saw in that gameplay trailer, yeah, it doesn't like my hopes aren't high anyway. Like I haven't really been hoping about Halo since Halo 4's release because it's just multiplayer's just died. Like multiplayer died with Reach basically. Like it was the biggest multiplayer competitive thing in America up until Halo 3. Like I was watching a video on it earlier today actually, and then yeah, when Reach came out, like it just died. So
Oh, I thought like Reach was when it blew up, like since
No.
because
What?
the time between 3 and Reach, obviously, like that was like what 4 or 5 years.
3 years, I think. 2010, 2007, yeah.
2007. Okay, yeah. Because like I feel like Reach was like where people got really into like the custom games, like doing like the driving games. It was pretty much just like what GTA 5 is now. That was what Reach was. Like everyone.
There's a lot of
joined-
that in Halo 3 as well, though.
Yeah, I guess it's just more
There's like
so
jump maps and
with the-
stuff.
with the coverage. So like when you think about, Halo 3 2007, when YouTube was around back then, it wasn't really like a prevalent thing. Like gaming videos and let's plays and all that kind of stuff wasn't really that big of a thing.
Yeah.
2010, 2012, that was like the golden age of like Let's Players and like all these guys doing like those gaming Friday night videos. Like, I know you probably remember Sarah for Rooster Teeth with Achievement Hunter. They had a series that lasted like 500 episodes that was horse. Like they played horse like in basketball, but with Halo, where they would just do like these random dumb things in Halo Reach and Forge mode. And that series lasted so long. And then they had another one that was Fails of the Week. That lasted like hundreds of episodes as well, where it was basically just like fail clips from Halo matches from matchmaking. And that was all Halo Reach clips. Like they extended it to other Halos, like after like 200 odd episodes because they wanted to like mix it up. But yeah, I feel like Reach just like from a community content creation aspect, it just was massive. But again, that was because there was more of an outlet to share that stuff. I'm guessing from a player perspective on Halo 3. Because like Halo 3 had like, was that Griffball? Was that when that was introduced?
Yeah, Griffball was in Halo 3, yeah.
So I feel like the community was still there. I just feel like it wasn't as shown to other people, like people that didn't play Halo, essentially.
I guess the problem with Halo now is that there is like basically two communities. There's like people who want to go back to Halo 2, Halo 3 era multiplayer sort of stuff, and there's people who are happy with it being like a almost like hybrid COD Halo sort of thing. Which means that you can't please everyone, which means if the game comes out, half people are going to like it, half people aren't, which means the game will die anyway because the population will just dwindle. So yeah, I think they have to pull off a miracle to make it work. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
Well, I don't think with Halo 3, I think I remember there being like an ACL thing here in Melbourne. Did you participate in that, Justin?
I didn't, but a lot of my friends did. Like I met like half my friends through Halo basically. We had like two different friend groups. The other friend group played in ACL, and then we just played online customs with them all the time. So
because I went to a game expo in the Carlton Exhibition Center one year. It was like Games Fest or something like that, and they had a big Halo 3 multiplayer kind of setup or whatever, and I do remember there being a lot of events for Halo 3, but as soon as was it ODST that came out after Halo 3?
Yeah, but it was using Halo 3's engine, so it's almost like an expansion for Halo 3.
Maybe it was Reach then, but one of them the like even MLG coverage kind of dropped and videos started to disappear.
ODST was meant to be a DLC, wasn't it? And then they made it a standalone game.
I don't know.
That was the story I remember reading, because it was supposed to be smaller in scope, but then the development got bigger and bigger, and they're like, oh, we should just make this its own thing. Honestly, ODST is one of those things where it's like, for the time it came out, it was really odd that it existed, because it was such a departure, and like it was a spin-off, and it was like didn't have the Chief in it, and like you think after the massive success of Halo 3, they'd be like, why wouldn't you have the Chief in it? And it was like, I think with the community as well, is there some, I guess, resentment there, or is it not so much like with, the 343 stuff?
Well, no, ODST was the best for us because it came with a multiplayer disc that had all the Halo 3 maps on it. Because the Halo 3 had like 3 or 4 map packs, I think. Yeah. So you could buy ODST, and I literally have like 10 copies of ODST in my wardrobe right here, because we use it at our LANs, because we just chuck that disc in, and then you have to worry about people not having the maps on the console and all that stuff.
Oh, so it's built into the actual code on the disc.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's convenient.
Yeah. That's so good.
But yeah, for competitive, like it made no dint at all, because it wasn't competitive multiplayer. It was just the Firefight, I think, was the only multiplayer in ODST.
Yeah, like in for the multiplayer for ODST, did you play as Spartans or did you play as ODST?
No, you're ODSTs.
Oh, okay.
But like, it was just like the wave, like horde mode, basically. Like you were just versing the Covenant with 3 other dudes.
It wasn't like player versus player then.
No.
They don't have any. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because that did change. Because that, to me, like obviously Reach onwards, the gameplay changed quite significantly with like the introduction of armor abilities, and then making sprint a default ability in 4.
Yeah.
But like with ODST, that was a lore reason as to why like the game played slightly differently, and like the way that you took damage and how enemies worked changed was because you were playing basically a regular human and not a 7-foot tall Spartan man.
Yeah.
Re-energizing shields, which I thought was really it was unique, and it was cool and different. So yeah, I figured Halo fans would be more forgiving of that because it was that different. Whereas with the rest of the games, it was supposed to be similar but different enough to where it had an impact on the gameplay.
I think it's just like it was just 343. Well, it was Bungie who made Reach. Just trying to like adapt to the times, because COD 4 came out the same year as Halo 3, and then by the time Reach was coming out, like COD was the most popular shooter like on the market, and everyone was sort of going in that route. So they sort of tried to bring more of those elements into it. But the thing that makes Halo great is it's an arena shooter, and it's not. I don't know. It's not meant to be realistic, obviously. Like you're a Spartan super soldier and you can't sprint in Halo 3. Like it makes no sense. But it's just super balanced. Like everyone starts exactly the same. The maps are symmetrical.
Yeah.
All the power weapons are like evenly placed throughout the map. So it's just like it's the rules of the game. Whereas like with COD, it's more like fast-paced Twitch sort of shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's designed in that way because of the platform it was released on. Like, because it was one of the first, controller based shooters, it had those limitations of movement. So like when you talk about Halo multiplayer back then, like on Blood Gulch and Halo 1, your jump, like your airtime when you jump lasts an eternity because it has to. If you have to jump off an obstacle and you have that amount of airtime to like line up a shot, you need that time to actually do it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to land your shots at all. And that's why movement's a lot slower, and like aiming takes a long time to do all this stuff. The way scopes work as well, it's all with a purpose because it's being played on a platform that is inherently less responsive than a mouse and keyboard would for a PC shooter, which Call of Duty kind of was, but it was also made primarily for consoles. So it's interesting how those design limitations stayed with Halo until there was that market trend shift with Call of Duty, and then obviously Bungie were like, "Oh, we should probably just adapt and get with the times a bit."
Yeah.
Well, like in terms of the original question, I guess with the graphics, when I saw the trailer, I noticed that I noticed that the graphics did look a bit dated for a game that's coming out this year, potentially next year.
Yeah, and for like next gen too.
Yeah, and for next gen. So it like, I love that it had a really weird but like open world feel to it when I was watching the trailer. I did like that, but I didn't like how the graphics did kind of look like upscaled CE, really, Halo 1 sort of graphics to me. Like you could tell they were like more modern and for 4K, but it just didn't look what I would think a 2020 game should look like. I mean, it didn't even look as pretty as Doom, and Doom's
That's very true, actually.
Pretty game, and so I don't know if it's Halo and it's meant to be like this mega game. I mean, it's Halo. Halo carries a really big name. You'd expect it to be kind of groundbreaking or at least iconic.
Definitely.
And I don't know if the graphics in that were really iconic. So I think it's good that the community was like, "What is this?
Yeah.
Take it away.
That's very true.
Work on it some more." And so I think it's good that they are doing that. They are coming back with 2021 instead of rushing.
They are
I think it's a common trend. A lot of people are like, "Okay, instead of just releasing a hot mess, we'll pull it back and do 2021."
Well, that's a good thing. Yeah, it's definitely
absolutely. I agree.
I mean, you compare that to the Master Chief Collection. They released that, and that was like a disaster when it first came out on Xbox, and that just killed the game because everyone was like, "Well, this game's broken. I'm not going to play it." So then you couldn't find anyone. So
like that, that's a pretty good redemption story, though. Like,
yeah, for sure.
The amount of time and effort they've actually kept with that, like that game came out in 2014, the collection.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they're still working on it. They're still giving updates to it, and it's not that kind of game. It's like they're not adding new content. They're just constantly like optimizing and fixing. And now they have the PC release for it as well, so they're doing that, until all the games are on PC. But yeah, they're just making sure, because basically what Xbox is doing, they're making it their games as a service as their main strategy. So they have to make these games work because these games are going to be experienced and enjoyed for the next decade or so. So Master Chief Collection should be, as one of their main franchises, should be the best possible shape it could be in, for that reason.
Well, I think the plan for Infinite, from what I've seen, is that it's going to last like 10 years. They're not going to make new Halos. They're just going to build
to it.
within Infinite. So
Yeah.
you buy Infinite, and then like it'll sort of be like the MCC where like stuff gets added on.
Yeah.
Like you probably have to buy that stuff, I'd say. But
Yeah.
I'm
but
guessing
like
just
it'll be
like
just like the
Destiny then?
one.
Would you just buy like the big expansions like Iron Throne?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool. That's a
Yeah,
great
I do
idea.
think that's interesting. Like, as a way to deliver new content, it's like, it's kind of what I've been wanting companies to do for a while. And like, obviously, people have been doing it. Like Destiny's they've kind of perfected that platform or that way of delivering content in some way. But more so from like a single player point of view, I think it would be really cool if instead of getting like, like 3, let's use Mass Effect as an example, Sarah, because that's probably the most obvious one for us. But if they just released, Mass Effects, and there was a story, maybe they released some small DLC side stories, but then Mass Effect 2 rolls around, but they don't release like a new disc or a new whatever. They just go, we releasing Mass Effect 2. It's $40. It goes for 20 hours, and it's just part of the main game. Like you have a new map that
It
gets
just
opened up. And then
goes on
there it
from
is.
it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I could see that being really cool and like interesting in terms of like a delivery mechanism, because it basically means that like you would have to hold on to your copy, like your original copy, and there's like infinite ways in terms of content. There's less dev time needed for that kind of content to be made because you have all your base assets kind of there, and it's not so much waiting for the next game to be 10 times graphically better. It's more so just I want more content, so
You're just building on top of kind of what's already there.
building top of the foundation you've already established. Yeah, exactly.
That is an interesting strat.
Yeah, so like that's why I kind of like what they've kind of set in place with Infinite, where they're making allusions to that kind of strategy. In terms of the graphics, like I think what Jono was saying before, it is definitely like an homage to like OG Halo Combat Evolved. Like it just reminded me of the first level. Well, not the first level, but like the level where you land on the ring for the very first time. I think it's called the Silent Cartographer. It was
It's
basically
actually
that.
just called Halo, man.
No, it's Combat Evolved, man. There's a subtitle, absolutely.
No, like the second level of Halo is called Halo.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it doesn't matter. I'm just being a dick.
Yeah,
Sorry,
cool.
go on.
No, you are right.
Freaking
You are correct.
nerds.
I will pay that. You are correct. But yeah, like it definitely felt like it was going for that vibe, and like when you compare like Infinite to Halo 4, the way they've approached like the aesthetic and the graphics, like Chief's armor in Halo 4 is like super futuristic. Like I remember watching a video where they go like, "Oh, we made like all this minute details in his fingers." Because like before, his armor had like these chunky fingers, so like realistically, he wouldn't be able to pull the trigger.
They wouldn't
like,
actually fit to be able to do
it.
it.
It wouldn't fit in
That's
the
hilarious.
receiver. So like they made his fingers like these like carbon fiber black like glove gauntlet things, so that it could work like functionally. Whereas in Infinite, like nah, he's big blocky green man.
Big blocky buoy, he's back.
That's what he always was. So he's big blocky green man. Yeah, so it's definitely they've changed it to kind of meet that aesthetic style, but there were some things just from like a stability standpoint. Like I remember watching the demo and like lighting was balked in some places when they opened the map to kind of show you the open world and they closed it. There was like a massive amount of pop in when it came like back from the menu. If you went frame by frame, it was like, oh, the game's back. Let's show the game because the menu's been closed. I think it's just kind of a holdout because this game is being made for like the base Xbox One, which is a 7-year-old console at this point, and it's probably like the weakest out of all the consoles that are currently on the market. Even the Switch, I feel like, is a better performing console than the Xbox One. So I think that's probably the main pain point, is that this game has to work across multiple generations of systems.
I definitely think
and
that might hold
PC.
them back too.
Yeah.
So,
and like I think there is like a certain argument to be made that like Halo was never really like I guess it was a graphics powerhouse when the original Xbox came out. Like when that first Halo came out, it was amazing. But like, I don't know. I feel like the generational leaps for Halo kind of ended with Halo 3. Like it didn't really seem to be pushing those boundaries as much. I feel like Crysis kind of took that crown after Halo 3 came out. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I can't really speak because I had paid no attention to Halo 4.
You were playing your COD 4 competitive Search and Destroy.
I was, and that was like quite the opposite.
Yeah.
It's basically as bland a graphics as you can make
Good.
it.
Everything is a shade of cream.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
Brown, grey, dirt.
You could get
Bit of
like,
green every now and then.
there was,
actually-
yeah, exactly. There was
actually speaks
console
to your-
commands.
It
So you
speaks
could
to your
get rid of
taste,
rubbish.
Jono, when you have
Mm.
Gears of War and Call of Duty with the most brown color palettes.
Like, love
Yeah.
that brown and cream color palette. That's my
Yeah.
jam.
Gears, yeah, maybe Gears 3. But so for me, I played Gears 1 on PC because that also came out
That
and
must
was
have
in
been
that
rough.
Vista area
Ah,
where
Vis-
era, sorry, like where Halo 2 was as well.
Mm.
But I did go back and play Gears 2 and Gears 3, but after I had played Gears 4 on the new console. And Gears 4 is not brown, it's like cold, I would say. The color
Yeah.
temperature palette is quite blue.
Well,
They
that's
spice it up.
Coalition. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played Gears 4. I still haven't played Gears 5, even though you've told me that it's amazing, Jono, from a multiplayer standpoint at least. But I know that from what the developers are talking about, because that was made up of the Coalition, which was like a newly formed studio specifically made to make Gears. They made a point of saying that Gears 4 and like the new Gears trilogy was going to make it more colorfully vibrant and not as brown and grey as the originals were. I feel like with the first game though, that was kind of the point, because the first Gears was kind of a bit of a horror shooter in some ways. Like those opening missions were kind of like terrifying when you were like fighting the locusts in like this fallen city that had like these holes erupting from the ground. It was pretty scary.
It was a very dark and gritty game, and it did have
Yeah.
that really cool feel to it.
Yeah.
Gears 5 story also is like that, but with better color rendition and palette.
Yeah.
But yeah, number 2 just was like a blurry, muddy, red and brown fest of crap.
Yeah. Well, two's the one where you go. Two's the one where you go inside the giant, like, was it a snake or like a giant worm?
No,
That was gross.
actually, yeah, you do. And then 3, you kill another big thing. Actually, I remember playing 3 with my brother, and now I'm like jumping back and forth. But 3 was like a anti doom and gloom. It was kind of like I don't know, just a normal action shooter. Really.
3, they started to incorporate the lambent, which was like the yellow monsters. So that added like a third color to the color wheel.
Oh,
Yeah.
third. 3 colors.
But like that was definitely like that was a culmination of the trilogy. So like it was all like hurrah, fight to the end, beat the swarm and all this stuff. So
Until the next game.
yeah, until the next game.
Rounding out our Halo chat, I did actually watch a really cool video, and if anyone in listening or watching, or any of you guys are interested, there's a really cool video by Digital Foundry, who Taylor always yells at me to watch, and I actually did. And it's a great look at the gameplay trailer, and they basically make the argument that the big problem is the lighting. It's not so much like the individual textures or graphics itself. It's the issue is that the lighting is not working very well, especially in shadows, and that's why in specifically the shadowy parts, they just look like 2005 flat colors. You know, there's nothing there. And yeah,
This is great because we actually circled back to what we started at the beginning of the podcast. We were talking about lighting in a real life sense.
well, this is why lighting is important.
Yeah, it's like
Circle of life.
in a gaming sense, lighting has only been really like amazing in like probably this
Really
console
recently,
generation, because
yeah.
like there's a PC setting that probably a lot of people are familiar with, but ambient occlusion,
Yeah.
which basically it's to do with the shadows that objects make when light makes contact with it.
Yeah.
These ambient shadows next to, it's like if you have a book on a nightstand, there's going to be parts of the book
They're
that will
going to
have
be darker.
darker shades on like the spine of the book or like the right side, depending on where the light is hitting it from.
Yep.
There are games like pre-2008 that had no ambient occlusion. So there's a
Everything
book
is
on a table,
just lit
all just,
equally.
It's all just stark lit, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you see Halo and it's got like elements of that, and it's a 2020 game,
it's just
a
like,
new generation.
what?
You haven't got that down. It's like,
Yeah.
like regardless of what aesthetic you're going for or how realistic your game is supposed to look, if your lighting is terrible, it's going to make it look
affect
even
things.
worse.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing that, you're right. What, the Digital Foundry guys were alluding to, like it either has to, be remade for ray tracing, which they've already said they're going to be having support for on Xbox Series X, which obviously PC will have, if you have an RTX card. But yeah, I think it's just something that needs to be revisited. I think.
Yeah, I think that was the point he kind of made at the end. Was like, that's really the only way that you're going to be able to fix this and make this look as how it's supposed to. But I think, he also made the point that like the problem is they probably didn't do that because they were like, this is going to have to be on cross, it's going to have to be on Xbox One and also, the new, or, things like that. Like I guess they didn't want to, I don't know. So, but now they're realizing, okay, we're going to have to go back. We're going to have to revisit this because
and I think
the
that's
fans
why
aren't
they
happy.
probably delayed it, because it's not so much like the graphics were bad or like it was unstable as a build. I think it's more so like, well, if we wait, we'll have ray tracing on launch day. It won't be like a post-launch update.
It'll be ready to go.
You'll basically be putting our best foot forward in terms of like a graphical presentation.
Absolutely.
So I think that's probably the smartest way. And like I understand like not having that for launch is pretty bad, because it would have been nice to have like a launch Xbox console with a launch Halo. I think it's been since the 360 that we had like a launch period of like having. Oh no, I think actually the original Xbox.
I think wasn't that
with Halo.
Evolved, like the first Halo.
Yeah, because with the 360, Halo 3 was like a year later, Justin, because 2006 was when the 360 came out. So like it's still going to be in that launch period, but yeah, it would have been nice to have it on day one. Like I get my Xbox, get my Halo, take it home.
But yeah, I think they made the right move in delaying it, especially like as Jono pointed out, the Halo is just. The name demands a certain quality. I think it's associated with it, and so
especially if they want to make this like a long-term plan of like the 10-year plan.
They've got to come out with the best
they have
thing.
to start good.
Absolutely,
they have to remove sprint
and remove the sprint.
Maybe
apparently,
if it's like a toggle, would you play it if it like a toggle?
No, because the issue is it changes map design, so it makes the maps way bigger. It makes the guns have to all be like hit scan because you can't keep up with
other people moving.
What if Daddy Phil Spencer came out and he's like, look guys, we'll give all Halo 3 maps remade in the new engine that won't allow sprinting. Would you play in that?
I would definitely play, but the issue with that again is like the player base would be so divided that it just wouldn't matter.
Just remove sprint. I mean, done. Easy.
Yes.
Easy. Just walk those little Spartan legs at a standard pace, all right?
Yeah, power walk.
Power walk over there. Come on.
It's more efficient for weight loss than running.
Absolutely. You got to stay fit in this universe. I don't know. Is it in the future universe? I don't know. I'm showing my age.
2552. Isn't that right,
Is
Justin?
it the future?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, that's right.
2552. Yeah.
All right. And then a few years later, Cyberpunk will come out, so it'll be great. Or whatever. Oh no, 2552. Okay, no, Cyberpunk's already out.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. Yeah.
All right. Well, I reckon
that's had like 8 Cyberpunks by then.
Cyberpunk 8 will be out. Maybe. Yeah. We'll see. I reckon that's probably rounded out this. What is this called? A podcast for today.
It's a radio program.
I was going to say stream, but speaking of stream, this is a streaming right now, live. You, viewer/listener, could be listening to this as it happens by joining us at twitch.tv/Thermaltake ANZ every second Monday at 3 p.m. It'll be great. We'd love to have you. God, I'm getting good at the segues. I'm just throwing it out there. 22 episodes in.
Real proud of you.
I'm nailing these segues. I'm so proud. All right, well, make sure to check us out. We're on, Thermaltake Australia, New Zealand, or ANZ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You might be watching this on the YouTube channel right now, but if you're not, then check out our YouTube channel. We put up lots of great content on there, made primarily by these two lads at the top. See, look at them. Look at all their hard work right there. Look at them.
Good dudes.
Good lads. And what else? Is that it? Is that all I have to mention? Join the Discord, please. Join the Discord, the
Yeah, do that.
Thermaltake ANZ community Discord. Especially join it and go into podcast chat and give me suggestions to talk about next week, so I don't have to do another quickfire questions. Please, just think of me, think of my pain. All right, those questions are hard to come up with, and that segment lasted for like 5 minutes. Please, okay, just give me topics to talk about.
Is that like the ultimate crushing realization as like a creator? It's like I spent 12 hours editing a video that someone watches in 5 minutes at 1.25 speed.
Yeah, that's the worst thing ever when you know you put all this time into it and no one watches it.
If actually anyone said that they watched the video I produced at 1 point whatever speed, I'd be fucking pissed. Just saying.
That's fair.
Just
I
so
don't
mad.
know who would do that.
Just yeah.
I'm gonna get rid of that option on YouTube. I'm gonna lobby for it.
Oh, fight for it. Do what you
Nah,
gotta
it's
do,
actually
man.
it's really good. It is a good feature
It can be
when you
good,
get presenters that.
I was
can't
wondering
really
where
think
you were
of
going with
what.
that.
I
and then
thought that was a
got it.
legitimate pause.
Yeah, I thought you were
I was like,
thinking.
I
I was
know.
like, you okay up
I
there,
do have
Jono?
a friend though. I have a friend who actually does watch exclusively all YouTube content at 1.25, regardless of what it is.
All right, so you
Like,
don't
it's not-
have a friend who
it's
does
not-
that anymore because you shouldn't be friends with that person. They're a
Like,
bad
he
person.
He told me about it, and I was like, I didn't know it was a thing, like the whole speed thing. I was like, oh, you can do that? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I tried it with like podcasts, is what I used it for. And then I kind of stuck with it mostly for podcasts. Like I've set it to that for that reason that Jono mentioned, where like there's this especially slow talker, and it's like, just say what you want to say, get along with the thing.
All right. Well, on that note, I guess that'll be it. Stay safe out there, everyone, and we'll be back in a fortnight's time for some more quality content. Say goodbye, everybody.
Peace out, Brussels sprout.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for sticking around all the way to the end. We do hope you enjoyed this episode of Thermal Talk. If you want to join in the discussion or maybe even submit a topic for us to talk about in future, make sure to jump over to our Discord. We also do weekly giveaways there as well. Remember also that these video podcasts are available audio a week earlier. So jump over to our Spotify, SoundCloud, or Apple Podcasts to listen earlier. And we'll catch you on the next one.